Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the I Love Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, as always, Justin Woolwine, and today we're welcomed by Eddie Valentine. How we doing, my friend?
Oh, the king is just doing just fine.
I
Not afraid to feast your eyes on the 50-inch chest of the sexiest king alive.
love it. Just out of question, I really like the fact that you came on with the crown. Sometimes I feel like you get guys that come on here, they're champion or they're king or they're whatever, and they forget the gold. So I'm really glad that you presented yourself in such a royal manner.
The king dresses like a king.
Exactly.
Now, don't hold it against me if it comes off a little bit. The crown gets a little tight after a while. So,
Okay. We'll we'll keep that in mind. Especially an hour wearing that thing, it might make things difficult. Before we dive into your career, definitely your fandom and things like that, would you like to shout out your social medias, even upcoming appearances you got coming up in March, just so the fans can know where to check out the latest Eddie Valentine news?
yeah, I'll be at for Coastal Championship Wrestling. Uh, I'll be at Rumble in the Jungle in Doral this Saturday. Next weekend is we have the Rave Show and the Hardcore Bill Alfonso's Hardcore Invitational Tournament, both at Pompano Beach. You can check me out on Eddie Valentine IG and Eddie Valentine on Facebook.
Like it. Nice
Yep.
and simple, easy to find. Um, Here on the I Love Wrestling podcast, I try to start at the same place every time. Just makes it easy as podcasters, as commentators, as fans, and as professional wrestlers. We all have a story of when we found it, or when it came across us, or really when we noticed professional wrestling. So for you, Eddie, when did you find wrestling, and what about this crazy sport made you fall in love with it?
Oh, it was I was young. It was Saturday night main event,
Okay.
WF. I remember watching that for the first time and getting into an incredible amount of trouble with my younger brother for trying to do all the wrestling moves. So that was uh, that was my first introduction to professional wrestling. Was that right there Saturday night's main event, like Hulkamania era of professional wrestling was my first introduction to it.
Were you a Hulkamaniac as a kid?
No, I hated Hulk Hogan when I was a kid.
Who was you a fan of then?
I was my me and my brothers. Both of our favorite was Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Ooh, I
From
like it.
that time period, that was both of our favorite wrestler. I was not a fan of Hulk Hogan at all. For some reason, he always struck me as he always cried about he always cried about the heel, the bad guy, like cheating or doing something, but then he would turn around and do the same exact thing back to him. So I always thought he was a hypocrite. I couldn't wait for I don't know the heels were more honest to me when
I
they were
like it.
out there and like just so anytime when earthquake I ended up a huge fan of earthquake, and this started with him taking out Hulk Hogan and doing the earthquake splash. I think it was the Brother Love show maybe
Okay.
segment.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I'm pretty sure I know
I,
what you're talking about. Yeah.
they went to go shoot No Holds Barred, and that took Hulk Hogan out for 3 months, and I was so happy.
You got three Hogan free months back in that era was rare. Um, it's funny because like growing up, I was born in 2000, so I grew up in like let's say the ruthless aggression era of wrestling. So I got the end of Hogan's run as a full-time performer. And I always liked Hogan because he was a babyface that did heel things. I don't know what it was, but like as a babyface poking somebody in the eye and scratching a back and working the ref, I liked it for some reason. It was probably my dad, if I had to be honest.
Oh,
But it was interesting to me.
I was absolutely, don't get me wrong, I was absolutely in the minority. Like, it's like the mega good guy of, all time. It was like Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania, like say your prayers and eat your vitamins and, all that. Like I was definitely like in the very, very small minority of people where I just couldn't, for some reason couldn't stand the guy. So,
Did did your opinion change when he eventually turned heel?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, I thought he was fantastic. NWO Hulk Hogan was probably my was probably my favorite. Like it was fantastic.
I
It was
like it.
like phenomenal.
It's
I love. But
it's
I also really appreciated his last run in WWE. His match with The Rock is like fantastic, and
yeah.
I love his match with his rather polarizing, controversial match with Shawn Michaels. But I love that match.
I like the over the top nature of the whole thing.
And it's a bloody fight.
Yes.
Go back and watch it. It's whatever, however you feel uh about that match and Shawn Michaels wrestling in it. It's a bloody fight, and it's really good. So
I think if you look at it, I mean, like since I've really got into the podcasting and really analyzing wrestling, like trying to look at it through a different lens. Um, if you look at it psychologically speaking, it's super good.
yeah,
And like I think people, don't look at it as fondly because you can definitely tell Michaels is being himself times 1,000, but that's the point of what we watch.
that's one of the reasons I love it. I think it was you could really feel the like the anger and the bitterness.
Absolutely.
Like it's just shining through, and it's like undeniable, and it really adds like to that match.
It's
So
all it
I watch that and I enjoy every second of it.
I also feel like it's one of those rare times in like Sean's like 2000s run, I'll call it, where we got a hint of the 90s version of Shawn Michaels,
Mm.
which was rare at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, just out of curiosity, I know like we all have our stories of being fans, but you guys as wrestlers usually have a story or a moment that really encapsulates your decision to go from fan to professional wrestler. Was there a moment or a situation that caused you to say, "Hey, maybe I want to get on the other side of the barricade"?
Oh my I was a freshman in college, and my college roommate like harangued me into it. We had a townhouse, like a dorm house on campus, and we were all wrestling fans. We all got put into this house. That was one of the reasons, because we were all wrestling fans, and he was a big guy. He wrestled as a ox hog now,
Okay.
but like you need to go do this. I played football and wrestled in school, and but I was small. I was like 150 pounds soaking wet at
Okay.
that. He was like, it was like, you go for this tryout, go for this tryout. And I was like, I don't know, man. Finally, I was just like, all right, I'll go and do the tryout. I was sick of school, so I was like, I'll go do this tryout. I went and did the tryout. Yeah, they did everything to wear me out. Just like 20 push-ups, like down to like a lap around the ring, all the way down to one, and like back up to 20, like hundreds of squats. Get in the ring, and that ring at that time was still to this day the stiffest wrestling ring I have ever been. There's a all blue, old WWF training ring, and I think it used to be a boxing ring, and it had no give and no padding whatsoever. It just hurt. To this day, every ring I've been in has been softer than that ring at the least. So that was a hard ring to bump in. And for the final part of the tryout, I had to shoot wrestle one of the veteran wrestlers, which
Okay.
I was fine with, like, because I no problem, like, shoot wrestling, like guys, especially guys in higher weight classes than me. I was really used to that. So I got to shoot wrestled. It was a wrestler named Jay Love. I think he started getting blown up, and he was like, "All right, that was good." I was like, "Okay." And I got. It was the last time I had a piercing. I got my piercing like ripped out of my ear during the wrestling match. I never got another piercing, but on my way home that night, I had already made the decision then. Like on that drive home, I was like, "I'm going to do this." So that was the time where I was like, "Yeah, I'm." Some clicked in my head. I was like, "I can do this, and I'm going to do this."
So if cage match is correct, and it's rare that it is 100% correct, um, but I believe in the early 2000s you got a little bit of a start in CZW. Is that correct?
Well, that was my first promotion was WXW. I was
Okay,
and I was a Wild Samoans graduate, so I started there.
got you.
I wrestled for Pennsylvania Championship Wrestling,
Hmm.
and at the time they were sister promotions with East Coast Wrestling Association,
Okay,
uh, Super 8 fame. So I started. Those were the first two promotions that I got a real push where I had the bookers had something for me to do and gave me a push, and I was really fortunate. Both of those promotions at the time were promotions that the Attitude Era guys were allowed to go take bookings at.
yeah,
So I went from getting trained by the Samoans into these promotions, or now I'm wrestling with guys that are on during the Attitude Era that are on Raw and SmackDown every week too. So I really benefited. I also found a mentor in Glenn Osborne, Man from the Badlands, and he was able to teach me so much about wrestling psychology at the time. So I really got uh, an education in really how to wrestle at that period of time with just all different levels of like talent
okay.
that people to learn from and wrestle at that time. And then I went on Pennsylvania Championship Wrestling closed down, and I moved. That's when I started for Combat Zone Wrestling, which would have been probably like 2001 and 2002.
Yeah. So how did you get your foot in the door with Combat Zone?
I already had a bunch of friends that were wrestling there. They had been wrestling for PCW and ECWA.
Okay.
Then ECWA didn't want anybody wrestling for Combat Zone Wrestling and wrestling for you had to pick. You had to pick.
Okay. It was one or the other.
You wrestle for Combat Zone, the EC you wouldn't get booked for ECWA.
Okay.
All my friends started working for Combat Zone Wrestling, all stopped getting booked in ECWA, and then I was like the last one left there, like pretty much out of the group of us that were buddies, and so I ended up like going there.
Okay.
Get out, they got a tryout with front of John Zandig, and then I think it was me and the Briscoes. Our first match there was 3-on-1. Me and Jay and Mark against Trent Acid.
Okay.
Still a
Yeah.
fun match.
That's amazing. So I'm a huge fan of the Briscoes. I have been for forever. So it really intrigued me when I saw your first match with CZW was with the Briscoes. So just overall, what was your experience like being able to work alongside and even against Mark and Jay?
Well, I was an assistant trainer at WrestleTech where they went to train.
Okay.
They were by Jim Kentner and Glenn Osborne, and I was Glenn Osborne's assistant trainer at the time. So they were 15 and 16 when they came in.
They were real young.
They were very young. but they were. I to this day have never seen anyone learn as quickly. Like a lot of guys, especially when they come in and they've done backyard wrestling,
Yeah,
they picked up a lot of they pick up a lot of bad habits, and then you got to break those down and then retrain. And that's harder to do than just training it right from the beginning. But even though that they had done that, they had very few bad habits. Like they were like pretty close. They were so talented. You could show them how to do something, and they would nail it on the first try. So I like they were ready to go within like 3 months. So they were both prodigies. They were pretty incredible and tough, very tough.
I feel like that's something that still holds up to today when you look at the body of work, like even Mark's putting on in 2026.
Oh yeah.
Um, as somebody who got to help maybe lay the foundation for what the Briscoes would ultimately end up doing, how's it feel to finally see somebody like Mark Briscoe get their flowers now?
Oh, I love to see. I've like followed their entire careers with like pride.
Yeah,
You like it's awesome. It's awesome to see. It's overdue, way
absolutely.
overdue. And I wish Jay could be here for more of it,
Definitely.
more of it. So, but yeah, I've always like I always say they surpassed me like a long time ago.
I've
I've been playing catch up with them, but it's awesome to see.
definitely. I mean,
So,
I've heard a lot of guys say, especially from the training aspect, that you kind of want the guys that you've taken under your wing or helped train to go higher than you. Like that's kind of the goal in doing it. Is that something you could agree with?
yeah, oh,
Okay.
absolutely. There's no, you're making a big investment of your time and your energy, and you know, I want anybody that I'm helping to train or to succeed
Yeah,
and get to the next level. I'm not here to you don't want to keep anybody under your thumb. You want to see them flourish.
definitely.
Like otherwise, yeah, what's the point?
Um, so like I just looking at it early on, you in your CZW run, you yourself alongside John Dahmer become tag team champions. Looking back, how do you feel about that particular reign as CZW tag team champions?
Man, well, that was a huge moment in my career, especially at that point, and, at that level. It's a huge moment for us and everything. But I was going through a lot of personal issues at the time, and I don't think anybody had ever accused the CCW locker room of being, it could be pretty toxic.
It could be a
It
ragtag group
was,
of
it was party time, like a lot of
yeah,
the time, and it was wild, wild. Man, that's probably the nicest way as I could put it. So, like, I wasn't very stable or functional at the time. Like I was going through a lot of personal issues and stuff like that. So I kind of had that on top of it. I was gonna like cracking under a lot of pressure and everything. So while it was really really awesome, is like I have mixed feelings about that period in my life. So
understood. Um, Not too long afterwards, by the looks of it, you'd end up leaving CZW. What went into your departure from there?
well, that was pretty much it. Like
Okay,
couldn't keep my head together. I actually like was like I was like I need to take a leave of absence. I needed to get away from all that, just everything.
Okay.
Rest I couldn't handle it. So I
Mm.
did a loser leaves town match with Ian Knox, who was among my first class of students at the CZW school.
Okay.
With me and John Dahmer were the head trainers there, and that was like that was it. That was it. I was going from CZW.
So, just out of curiosity, it seems like you had your hands in training a lot of people back then. What were some of the difference in training guys, let's say in the early 2000s as compared to maybe now in 2025, 2026? Like obviously the wrestling game's completely different, culture wise. So what was it like what would you say like the biggest differences between the two eras?
Well, it's nicer.
Okay.
Yeah, wrestling is it's nicer. It's nicer generally, or more passive aggressive, you could say.
Yeah, I could
Uh,
see that.
so depending on how you like to view things, it could be either way. Uh, yeah, I notice like just usually I'll ask a class, like just who's been in a real fight, like a real competitive thing where somebody's either trying to really hit you and hurt you for real, or just like a competition where they're really trying to like physically MMA, like like wrestling, freestyle, anything like that. Like kind of like combat oriented sport where people are like 100% trying to like hurt you. And man, that number goes down every year.
It absolutely does.
That number goes down every year. And usually now only a couple hands, and that's that's good in a way, but at the same time, this is like it's professional wrestling, so it's like trying to teach somebody that level of intensity and emotion when they've never experienced that in their lives before. It's I usually find it's at least somewhat easier to when somebody's been in that to be like this is what we're trying to get, when we're out there.
Yeah.
So that's probably what the like that I have that just anecdotally that I do that happens now. Like mixed martial arts and especially jujitsu are a lot more popular now. So it seems more people that are like at least have some knowledge of that and everything, or maybe have tried it, which is good. So I like seeing that.
So just out of curiosity, I guess, what was it like? Because, like, if you look at the indies nowadays, some could argue it's a lot easier to get your name out there and to maybe make yourself known to other independent promotions or just promotions in general. What was it like for you in the early 2000s to try to do that without the wider internet and things like that? Like, what did that look like for you?
Man, you really had to, well, you wanted to find a place, especially that had some sort of television,
Okay.
like on any level. That was always like because there wasn't much of an online thing, like you had tape traders and stuff like that, but that was a very, that was just gaining some kind of popularity at the time. Like tape trading was starting to take off and be the thing, and because that's what you had to do to see anything else than what you could get with WWF, WCW, and maybe ECW, depending on where you were at. So you try to get into places that like had television. Television was still, even on a small scale, was still something that you aim towards. And if not that, then at least like, people that had some kind of hyper buzz that the tape traders were into, uh, you'd be looking for that too. And it was just hard because getting tapes from, not everybody had cameras back then and everything. Like now everybody has, a high definition camera. like
Yeah.
at their fingertips. You didn't have that. You'd be lucky if you have somebody that had a video camera that maybe would tape your stuff for you and give you a copy of it. Because getting tape from the promoters was like pulling teeth. Like they did not want to get they like they either like had to make a copy of it. They'd have to make a copy of it or something like that. It was just difficult. It was difficult to get that out of them or something. That was another like a promotion that actually put out tapes. Like like that was always like because then you had physical copy that you could show other people when you were having your matches and everything, especially when you weren't on television. So those are some of the things, and it was difficult. Like like at least you had like email, but I remember using a lot of snail mail and mailing out tapes, man, video cassettes, and everything. So that was what I had to do.
So like I know when I started going to indie shows like in the mid 2000s, I originally grew up in West Virginia, so we go to IWA East Coast shows all the time, and like specifically them I know would have the last month's DVDs. Is that something like that you ever got to like utilize to maybe share your stuff like once that became a thing? Like did
Yeah.
that would that make it easier?
Well, that was yeah, because that was just that was just the next evolution of the media.
Yeah,
Like DVDs were much easier to get, and then like camera technology was coming around, so there was a
get
lot of
better.
cameras and made everything easier. And then by the time YouTube came around, like we're into the age now where like the tools exist out there to get like never before.
Yeah,
What I mean? Like even if you're not part of a system with a machine pushing you now, you have a million tools at your disposal to put your stuff out worldwide that never existed before.
I like it because nowadays we kind of have the positioning to be our own machine. Like if there's not a machine behind us, you can create your own,
Mm-hmm.
which is fun. Like I had a conversation last night with another guy where we was just talking about marketing and branding yourself. And nowadays more than ever, like making a name for yourself is also making a brand for yourself. Um, is that something you guys focused on like early on in your career?
Well, yeah, you want to have your like your t-shirts, your merchandise, your branding,
Yeah,
your your gimmick, like whatever it is. Like, yeah, you want to definitely have your own brand, but like, again, like we didn't
it's just different.
you just didn't have all the tools that are available today,
Yeah,
like to do it. Everything was just more difficult.
definitely, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
YouTube has been the greatest gift to every independent professional wrestler, like out there is just being able to get your wrestling in front of other people's faces with at no cost, like
Yeah,
almost no cost, and they like have it like around the world. So,
definitely. So, like, something I thought was really cool when I was doing research for this was right after your departure, we'll say from CZW, you did a tour of Big Japan. Um, how did that come together, and what was your experience like going over to Japan and working shows over there?
oh, I was still part of Combat Zone Wrestling. It was
Okay,
Combat Zone Wrestling versus Big Japan
got you.
Wrestling, and I think I was on one of the last tours over there. Uh, so it was part of that feud, and so I got to go over there. That was I had an absolute blast over there. I loved going over to Japan. I loved wrestling over there. Uh, we were very well taken care of, like flights, hotels, transportation, and a nice per diem per day on top of our pay. So yeah, we had a very good deal. Uh, so yeah, I loved everything about my Japan, the culture, the people. I had a really good time when I was on tour over there.
Definitely. I've had several other guys on the podcast that's been over there. Um, Specifically, like I've had Madman Pondo on here, and he's talked about especially Big Japan, how well they take care of the guys when they go over there, especially like American independent guys, just because they he kind of explained like going over there and you're almost like a movie star. Like they just see you as so much larger than life than like maybe the American audience realize or appreciate. Is that something like that you came across when you was over there?
Yeah, like I said, it was, you know, I couldn't I could have been happier with how with how we were treated over there and everything. And it's like, and a lot of times you are like larger than life over there, like especially very like I'm not uh I'm just shy of 6 foot.
Okay.
I towered over there. So even at my side, and this is over 20 years ago. So I'm not didn't carry the size I carry today and everything. And I remember just feeling like I could see over. I never felt so tall in all my life. Like I could see over everybody's like heads, especially like like busy like city streets and everything. And I was like, wow, this is how and at the time too, I think at that age, I'm still wrestling. Like there were still a lot of guys on the independent scene that were really, it was like, size dominated, like especially in the Northeast. So there's still some like really, really big guys on the independent scene and everything. And I was like, oh, this kind of must be like how they see the whole world, like all the time. So yeah, you do get that feeling, like it's very you know welcoming.
So something that I also found very interesting about your career is we've talked about the loser leaves match at CZW, but the theme I've noticed throughout your career is when you depart from a company or your bid's done there, you usually leave in a loser leaves town match. Is that something that you did naturally, or is that something that you kind of pieced together throughout your time in wrestling?
Well, different reason for different, but if I figure I'm moving on
Hmm.
from a place, like I like to do that, like this is onto the next chapter kind of thing. And so yeah, loser leaves town. Like that guy's gonna be there like for the foreseeable future, right? And I so loser leaves town, makes it a little special, you know.
I like it because it reminds me of some old school wrestling, like that stuff you heard like back in the Memphis days, and I'm pretty sure, like, don't quote me on this, but like World Class did a couple of them, things like that. It's like it brings that old school flavor to modern wrestling, which I sometimes think we're missing.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I would agree with you there.
you know, most recently you've been killing it in CCW in Florida. How did you get your foot in the door with them?
I moved down here a few years ago, almost 5 years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago now,
Okay.
and I have been coming down here like visiting over the previous year, and I was looking for a place to work out while I was down here. I was actually getting ready to wind down. I was getting ready to wind things down. I just kind of wanted a place to work out and wrestle every once in a while. And then CCW like took off like the explosive growth over the last 4 or 5 years of a promotion that's been around for a very long time.
Yeah.
So I was right place, right time.
Gotcha.
Right place, right time, and right style, I guess.
How did you find yourself aligned with Joe Garcia as the Night Riders?
I was looking to do some tag team stuff. I really enjoyed and continue to enjoy tag team wrestling. So I wanted to do I wanted to see I thought there were some opportunities in the tag team division, and I thought Joe was an incredible prospect and talent. So I approached him and see if he was interested in that, and that was he was, and that was how that got started.
Where'd the idea for the name come from?
Man, I was just like what we I think that was one of the first ones that popped in my head. Was like the Night Riders. I was like, that's a cool sounding name, man.
Okay.
Be the Night Riders.
I like
That was pretty much it.
it. I was just wondering if it was like, because obviously I believe that the Dusty was the Night Rider, if I'm correct. I could be wrong.
Yeah, from
So,
Midnight.
or the Midnight Rider. Okay, that's what it was. So
Yeah.
I'm a little off. I'm a little off. Never mind. Um, I'll probably get some hate in the comments for that one, but it'll be all right. Uh, what was your favorite moment as part of the Night Riders?
Man, probably the jailbreak match
Okay.
with the Crown. That was that's a CCW. Uh, that's the only place you'll see that match.
Okay.
Is
How's
it,
it work for those who may
you
not be aware?
you can go and look it up on the CCW Live YouTube channel.
Okay.
It's the Crown and the Night Riders. It's a jailbreak match. There is one member of each team is handcuffed into their corner, and then the other two members have a ladder match. They have to secure the key to unlock their partner, and once their partner is unlocked, then they're able to win the match.
That's interesting. I like that. That's a cool concept. I've never heard of that. That's cool.
We've done two of those matches in CCW, and uh, it's me and Joe in both of them.
Okay.
So,
Can we
yeah,
see more?
against Monster Mash, but the one against the Crown is a hell of a fight. So I recommend anybody that wants to see a Night Riders match, like go and check that out.
I'll definitely be checking that out as soon as I get off here because that sounds like a fantastic concept. So I can't wait to go check that out myself. Um,
I I, I, I originally came up with the concept like many years ago with my own wrestling promotion, and we ran it one time and it did not go well. It didn't go well at all. It was a disaster, and but I was convinced that the concept was sound, and I was right. So
what were wrong the first time?
it just wasn't like we had a low ceiling.
Okay.
Uh, and the guys we were handcuffed on the ground to the turnbuckle rather than on the apron to the turnbuckle, which might not seem like a very big thing, but it is. Uh, Especially like presentation wise and everything. It was just not the right place, not the right time. It was poorly executed, and all entirely my fault.
Live and you learn, though.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. It is. It's something to see. So now it's all fixed now. Worked all the problems out of it. Yeah,
Do do we see more jailbreak matches happen in the future?
of course,
Of course.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So, as part of CCW, Gangrel is a big fixture of the company. What's it been like for you to be able to get in the ring uh, with somebody like Gangrel and be able to work him?
man. You're wrestling uh, a legend in the ring. and like he will. It's a great fight every time I get in there. I never like underestimate Gangrel, like the Vampire Warrior, because it's a fight. Like you will get your head knocked off if you do. So it's like you're in there and you know you're in there with somebody that's like will walk every last bit of his talk, and that's how you have to approach it. So, but I love that kind of fight. So anytime I uh, get a chance to get in the ring and fight Gangrel, I take it.
Definitely.
But I, as an opponent and a coach and a leader, uh, I have all the respect in the world for Gangrel. So yeah, I can't take any of that away from him. Uh, despite the despite the fact that we are enemies.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I think somebody like Gangrel doesn't get as much appreciation for their in-ring ability as maybe they should, especially when you look at his body of work, let's say even outside the WWF. Like what Gangrel's done is kind of crazy to really look at and see all the guys and girls he's been able to um, help elevate their careers, if that makes sense.
I've never seen anything like him. Like he's a machine, unlike anything I've ever seen. I had to find anybody go back and watch his title defense at the last bash at the Brew,
Okay,
like and tell me that he is not on another level.
definitely. So at the 21st anniversary show, Eddie Valentine would become the CCW heavyweight champion. What did that match and moment mean to you for your career overall? Just looking back at the moment and the reign.
Oh, that was a yeah. You know what? That was the highest moment of my career to date.
Okay.
So that's incredibly significant. Like I was ecstatic. All my plans worked. I had plans. I had contingencies on contingencies for that one.
Okay.
And it worked out. It worked out at the end. And just to hold that, to have that moment, you know, Meta was unbeatable. He was the unbeatable champion. So it took a lot. It took the wrestling equivalent of a cannon to beat him. So it was it was a huge moment for me. So and then was time for the King's Court, CCW.
So before we dive into King's Court, I just want to know, out of your defenses of the CCW title, which one was your favorite, or which one maybe stands out amongst them all?
Uh, I can't really pick a favorite. Yeah, like they're all different. I can't name a single one that I was like well this is clearly my favorite one. I don't have I don't have a pick for you there.
Oh, that's a respectful
If
answer.
you put a gun to my head, I'd probably say if I had to say if you put a gun to my head, I'd say maybe Cha Cha Charlie. I always
Okay.
love. I don't know, one of my favorite enemies. I mean, anytime I get a chance to punch Cha Cha Charlie in the face, I'm usually out there having a good time with it.
Okay. I
So
like that.
yeah,
So as far as King's Court, where did the idea come from to have your own court?
Well, it started with Marvin, Crown Prince Marvin Cruz,
Okay.
feuding with uh, Joe Garcia, and I were going at it at the time. So to kind of dig the knife in, I was going to have Knight Rider tryouts, and I figured that would take me, maybe a few weeks if find the right person to replace Joe Garcia and the Knight Riders. But you know what? Marvin Cruz came out that first night and he nailed it. He nailed it. So they started there, and then I brought Alex Chamberlain on board. Was a benefactor of ours as we had worked together for uh, when Joe and I were the Knight Riders. So he was the obvious choice for the Black Knight as a King's Court benefactor. So that was once we were able to pull everything together and secure the heavyweight championship. That was just the next part of the plan.
Okay. And uh, if I'm correct, not too long ago, you guys just became the CCW Tag Team Champions. Um, what was that moment like? Capitalizing, I mean, you're now a former CCW heavyweight champion, now to become CCW Tag Team Champions. I gotta imagine that feels special. So what does that moment look like for you to capture some more gold? And maybe what are some of your goals now as champions?
Well, I mean, I don't even have to argue. I'm going to state it. The King's Court is the power in the last territory. Marvin Cruz is a cruiserweight champion. Daniel Lacey and I are the tag team champions. Well, actually, that includes Marvin Cruz too. He defend that tag championship as needed. So you don't really know which two of us you're going to get. But having said all that, I mean, that moment in particular with the 5 star era, that was uh that was revenge, a dish best served cold. And like they thought that like they clowned on us the week before. They insulted us. They laughed at us. They thought it was funny to mock the king, and we embarrassed them. We embarrassed them in the 305 in front of all the Campesino Sucios in the 305. We played them. Now we're the champions. You don't mock the king's court.
I like it. Eddie, I just want to first and foremost say thank you for coming on the I Love Wrestling podcast. This has been an absolute pleasure to have the King on the podcast. So thank you. I'm gonna leave the door open. Do you ever want to do a part two? I'd love to have you back to dive into some more stories, some more action. But just in case, for some reason, the we'll call them peasants wasn't listening the first time, would you like to shout out your social medias?
Of course. And it was a royal pleasure for me to be here tonight. But you can find me, Eddie Valentine, on Facebook, Eddie Valentine IG on Instagram. Make sure you check out CCW Live TV on YouTube and on Facebook and on Instagram. We're on everything.
Sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the I Love Wrestling podcast. I'm Justin Woolwine. Our guest today was Eddie Valentine, and we will see you next time.